Hey everybody, this is Jeff Clark coming to you on Facebook Live, and I'm from CelticsBlog, obviously. So, wow, 12 in a row, 12 wins in a row, and I'm almost afraid to do this Facebook Live Q&A because I'm afraid of jinxing it. So, knock on wood. Let's keep this streak going. Let's beat Brooklyn. Let's keep things going, and hey, maybe we'll even beat the Warriors. Doesn't help, it doesn't hurt to try. So Celtics are just knocking or rolling on all cylinders. It's been the best that they've looked in a long time, and it's been without Gordon Hayward, been without Kyrie Irving for a few games, Al Horford for a few games, certainly without Tatum for at least part of the game. So it's been remarkable what they've been able to do with just taking a next man up mentality and stepping up to the challenge and winning the games in front of them. So a lot of fun there. Let's give me some questions in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to answer them for you the best that I can. It's been a lot of there's not a lot of negative things that I can come up with to say, and in fact, it's been kind of a running joke in my columns is that the glass is certainly half full at this moment, but they're obviously not going to win 70 games, I don't think. So this will eventually even out a little bit, and they'll pick up a few losses, I'd imagine. Otherwise, it would be some kind of record. But it's got a lot of fun. So give me some questions. We'll see what we can talk about today. Other than the Cavs struggling once again, that's always fun. Trevor says that Shane Larkin is a problem. Well, he's a problem for other point guards in terms of defense. He's a good defensive guard, and that's one of the things that they've been winning with. So he's got a role. Yes, he can't shoot. He doesn't really shoot very well, and he goes through long stretches where he can't shoot. But he's got a lot of confidence. He's got some point guard skills. So I think that the team needs to know his limitations and use them appropriately. Nick Ford Daly, hello from Australia. How you doing, Nick? Thank you for sending us Aaron Baines. Let's see here. Anthony Trask asks about what Danny will do with the disabled exception. I don't know. I think he's probably going to hold on for it for now. Obviously, nobody has popped up that has been worth trading for or picking up as a free agent yet. I think that holding on to that option or the ability to sign somebody is a good thing to hold on to, especially when you get into like trade deadline and the buyout season, where you might see a useful veteran come available on the market that they could outbid anybody for or even claim off the waiver wire with that trade exception. So there's no real rush to use it right now. Hey, we've won 12 in a row. There's no real pressing need for anything right now, so it's a good thing for Danny to have in his back pocket. And keep in mind too that it's only for guys on expiring deals or for free agents that can sign a 1-year deal. This is a part or a short-term fix. It's not like you can sign a guy for 5 years or even hope to have much leverage in terms of re-signing him in the off season. You don't really have a lot of leverage in that stuff. So for more details on that, please check out the article that Keith Smith wrote on CelticsBlog. Plug. So check that out. Hi, Wade Garcia from the Philippines, and everybody tuning in from the Philippines. Love you guys. Nathan Hill is asking about Nerlens Noel for the DPE. I guess that's an option. Again, that's it. It's a guy that I'm not sure you're going to be able to re-sign in the offseason. So do you want to take a 1-year flyer or less than a year flyer on a guy? As long as it doesn't cost too much in terms of resources. But maybe, I don't know. Let's see here. Some praise for Larkin from G.W. Welsh. Mike Marsters is asking about Rozier's shot selection. Hope he gets away from the floaters and hits more layups. Have you noticed this? Floaters is a good thing for a point guard to have in his arsenal. So I would say keep shooting them until you start making them. unless it becomes a real big problem. I'm a little worried about his ability to make layups because he tends to overcomplicate things and make dipsy-do, crazy layup attempts that don't always have a high make rate, if you will. So, I'd like to see him, just go up strong and try to lay the basket in, get a solid layup rather than getting a little bit too fancy, in which case I'd hope that, the layups would fall a little bit more. But, I think he's got to keep working on his game and keep working on those difficult shots and hopefully they'll come with a little bit more regularity as he gets a little bit more time and more confidence. Brett Davies says, do you think the C's will be going to the finals with a healthy Hayward? What do you mean, next year? If Hayward comes back, it would be a wonderful, pleasant surprise, but I am not counting on that in the least. And I don't think anybody really should at this point. It's just, I wouldn't rule it out, but I'm not going to be counting on it whatsoever. And hey, Celtics could be going to the finals without him too. So, we'll see. Todd Redlin asks, what impresses you the most about this team? I would say resiliency right now. It's just amazing how, like I said, it's been next man up every time. Hayward goes down and Tatum and Brown step up, Kyrie goes down and Marcus Smart steps up, and behind them is where the real interesting stuff has happened too, because as a Marcus Smart moves into the starting lineup, that means you've got a thinner bench behind them, but guys like Larkin have stepped up and Terry Rozier has stepped up his game and stepped into a bigger role and provided more of a spark off the bench, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. Rozier in particular has those hops that I saw a stat today that's, essentially it's small sample size, but it certainly seems like Terry Rozier might be one of the best rebounding guards for a guy his size, perhaps ever, so it's been fun to watch him contribute in that way too. Let's see. Victor Costa says Celtics increasing the value, almost all their value with a great bench play. They're just looking good, and it is interesting as there is a guy in the name of Marcus Smart who's going to be a free agent at the end of this year, and he is trying to increase his value on the market, trying to get his big payday and back up his own little Brinks truck, if you will. His shooting percentage is always going to be a thing that people are going to point to, and that's going to drive his market down, and that could actually end up paying dividends to the Celtics in the long run, as he will be more valuable to us than to other teams, in which case we can maybe get him for a decent price in the offseason. As a fan of Marcus, I'd like to see him get paid as much as he can. As a fan of the Celtics, I'd like to see them get as good a bargain as they can. So, I'm sure that the two will can find a middle ground, but it's possible someone out there would really want Marcus's services and overpay or pay more than the Celtics would be willing to pay in the offseason. That's the risk that they run, letting a guy get to free agency. So I guess we'll see. King Jedi the Sixth says Jaylen Brown's handles need polishing. I think you're right. That's been a part of his game that he's needed to work on, and you saw him kind of step out a little bit more with his ball handling in the summer league, just as a chance to do it in a no consequence environment, and he's still struggles with it at times, but obviously the positives outweigh that one of those few negatives in his game, and he's contributing despite that, and he's continuing to work on that as he gains more experience. Same thing as well. This whole group is just, there's a lot of young guys on here that are gaining a lot of experience. And Brad Stevens is maximizing their talents, maximizing their considerable skills, while at the same time trying to either mask or work on the limitations in their game. So what more could you ask for with a 12-game winning streak and giving young guys a big role and a big chance to expand their game? So let's see, some more questions. not really a question, but Trevor O. Rance II is saying that Jason Tatum is playing out of his mind. But what if he's actually playing in his mind and he's actually just this good, just this early, and he's only going to get better? I mean, that's what blows my mind, is the fact that he's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's 19 years old. He's in his 14th game in the season in the NBA, and he's already this good. I mean, this guy's going to be a stud. He's going to be an amazing basketball player for many years to come, and the Celtics are lucky to have him. He's so long that he has, advantages that that just translate better to the NBA game than they did in college. And it's just so funny to look back at the scouting reports of him and saying, he was going to be bad at defense. He's going to be a mid-range chucker and an isolation player. He wasn't going to shoot three-pointers very well. He was disinterested in playing defense. All those things are wrong. I mean, he's just been an amazing defensive player in terms of, for his age and for his experience level. He's been, long and rangy and playing within the Celtics offense, shooting three-pointers at an extremely high clip so far. It's small sample size, but still, shooting close to 50% is pretty, you can't knock that. And he hasn't been forcing things too much, and he's just been attacking the glass, getting rebounds, and attacking the defenders and getting around them. I just love some of the plays from the last few games, just doing a spin move on the block and just blowing by people at the top of the key, blowing by a defender, and just doing one of those Giannis one step, from the free throw line and into a layup type of things where, man, he's long. So he's been, you guys know, Jason Tatum is an amazing player, and it's a lot of fun watching him play. Let's see. Let's get to a couple more of here. Sean Mogul, calls his shot, says we're going to beat Golden State. Trust me. All right, Sean, we're looking to you. Sean Sullivan asked, would you like one more legit center as a backup to Baines? That would be nice. I'd like to have I guess you would call traditional center, a big guy. It doesn't have to be a lumbering giant, but, another guy with length and perhaps some rebounding grit to back him up. That'd be nice to have on the roster, but whether or not, we had a Jordan Mickey last year and hardly used him because he wasn't good enough to play. So I'd like to have good basketball players is what I'd like to have. So if he happens to be a big center, then great. Let's get a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up here. Sorry, I rambled on a little bit about Jason Tatum. It's just hard not to gush about him, I guess. Sorry, I'm scrolling down to the bottom to see if I can get some people not asking about the disabled player exception. Ricky Dyson says, hey, Jeff, all is well. Been a while since I asked for your input, 12 games in a row, yada, yada, yada. Nets now, what's your expectation versus the Warriors on Thursday? If Kyrie plays, depending on the mask, yada, yada. Sorry, I'm trying to summarize. The question is basically about how we're going to do against the Warriors. Man, it's going to be a fun game. They've got length. They've got defense to hopefully slow the Warriors down. I'm not sure that they can score at that pace, though. I think the Warriors are just going to perhaps score at a higher pace than the Celtics can keep up with. But, on the other hand, the Celtics have perhaps a better defense than the Warriors have seen this year. So I don't know. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be fun to test our players against that star-studded lineup. Ultimately, I just think that talent wins in this league, and as much as I love the grit and the story behind the Celtics, I just don't give them. I don't necessarily give them a chance to beat the Warriors. In a 7-game series, but maybe they could steal one in terms of an early season game. So, anything can happen, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm just not counting on it. Let's see. James Haley says, should Marcus Smart have a green light and taking and shooting away, scoring or shooting only 29%? Brad Stevens, that's his thing, is he doesn't give people the red light, if you will. He wants them to shoot open shots, and that's a good look for just about any player. And if Marcus Smart thinks that he has the confidence to get it to go in, there are times when he shoots and just gets on a roll, and it becomes a backbreaker for the opponents when he hits 2 or 3 pointers in a row. So that can be a lot of fun and and a dangerous weapon for the Celtics. But it's tough when he misses so many. So again, winning covers up a lot of faults, doesn't it? So I think we'll take his plays that he makes, and his defense and his hustle and all the intangibles, and live with that shooting percentage. Neil Martins asked about Okafor. That's maybe a guy that they could go for, and as long as the price isn't very high. How the mighty have fallen in that guy's career, I guess. But it's he's another guy that the Celtics could look at in terms of a big, maybe with this disabled player exception. So okay, you guys snuck in another DPE question. So I'm going to wrap it up there, and I'm going to enjoy the 12 wins in a row and hope for a 13th and maybe even a 14th. So I'll catch you guys soon, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care.